Hello friends, in this session we will be talking about the strategy and the formula how to prepare Odisha Administrative Service 2018. The most important part of this exam is the strategy. What should be the strategy so that you can crack this exam in the very first attempt? This is the thing we are going to discuss in this lesson. You see, if you talk about the OAS exam, like UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, OAS exam also comprises 3 stages. First stage, second stage, and the third stage. Right? First of all, we'll talk about the first stage, then we'll go for second stage and the third stage. Right? And the first stage we call preliminary test, or simply you can say prelims. Right? And this part is called main exam, and finally this is personality test, or you can say interview. Anyway, please remember this part is objective, this is subjective, and this is interview bias. Right? Let's understand the procedure or the strategy so that you can crack these 3 stages without any problem. You just see here we have CSAT, like UPSC we have Civil Service Aptitude Test. I hope you know this, Civil Service Aptitude Test. Okay, and this paper comprises 2 parts, or you can say paper 1 and paper 2. This is called General Studies paper 1, and this one is General Studies paper 2, and together we call Civil Service Aptitude Test, and this is objective theory. Right? You just see here, first of all I will explain this part and then we'll come to this part. You just see, this part is this paper is qualified. So please remember, you have to qualify. To qualify, only you have to qualify. Okay? So this paper comprises passage or comprehension, you can say passage. Right? Total number of questions I will tell right now, 80 questions. Right? And this is also, you can say 100 questions. So 100 questions here, 80 questions here. And total mark, if you talk, total mark, this is 200 and this is also 200. I hope this is clear. So let's discuss the distribution pattern, the question pattern, and what are coming here in this paper 2. Well, you just see in passage, out of 80 questions, 20 to 25 questions are coming. Okay? And if you talk about math, basic arithmetic, SCF, LCM, you can say number system, percentage, right? So we have 15 to 20 questions. Let's 15. And reasoning we have 20 questions. It may be 18, 25, no issue. Let it be 20. And decision making, 8 to 10 questions, right? And you can say data interpretation, 5 or 10 questions. Okay? And miscellaneous rest. Okay? And if you add this, anyway, this is 80. So do not worry if it is less or big, no issue. So just remember, out of 80 questions, right, you have to score 33% or 26.5 or 27 question, make it round. 27 question you have to make it correct. The moment you score 27 questions absolutely correct, right? Then this paper, you got qualified. So you are now qualified. Now we'll talk about this paper, because this paper is going to determine the fate of your exam. That means if you clear this paper, then you will write main exam. So let's understand. Here we will start from geography, Indian geography, world geography, astronomy. So out of 100 questions, 20 questions around here. Suppose environment, 15 or 16 questions, maybe 10 questions. We are just taking number of questions. Then suppose polity, we have 10 to 12 questions, right? These are the questions, please remember. And economics, 5 to 7 questions, let it be. And you can say history, 15 questions. Science, 10 to 15 questions. Well, and current affairs, rest. So, if you add this, total number question 100. Just try to understand the point. What you have to do, this paper is qualifying, so you have to score 27. And just double it. Actually, no need to double, just for explanation, just to understand the concept. 27, just double it, 54, right? If you score 54 plus any category, or try to target 60 questions correctly, because the score is increasing every year. So try to score 60 questions, try to make it correct 60, then you are getting passport to write main exam. Now you are going to write main exam. In main exam, what happens? You have 2 optional papers. So optional, suppose any optional, public administration, history, geography, physics, chemistry, botany. There are a number of optionals. So if you keep one optional here, for your understanding, suppose I will take public administration, right? So paper 1 300 and paper 2 300, right? Suppose second optional, let it be philosophy. You can keep geography, any optional, right? Whichever you like. Choosing optional is very, very important. I am just writing because to understand, right? Suppose philosophy you have kept, or physics also you can keep. Any optional you can keep. So paper 1 300 and paper 2 300. Well, and general studies, which was objective here, general studies, now it's subjective, right? Paper 1 300 marks, these are the marks, and paper 2 300. And essay paper, right, 250. Essay paper 250, right? And you can say these are the things you just add it, right? So you can say total 600, 600, 600, 1800, and this is 200, right? So 2000. So don't worry if it is 250 or 200, essay no issue, but 200, right? Let it be 200. So 2000 marks. And if you add English and Odia, that is 300, 300, these papers are qualified. So please remember, this paper is purely qualified. This is qualified. So right, this is qualified. Please remember qualified. So now this is the thing you have to remember, right? Now the question is how much you should score here so that you will be called for interview. Are you getting my point? Okay, you just see, I have told if you score 54 plus or around 60, then you will be writing main exam. Now we'll talk how much you should score here so that you will be called for interview. This is the thing we have to remember. You see, every year the mark is varying, but you have to remember, the strategy or the mark in general, so that you can score and call for interview. So anyway, I will wipe out this. I have told. So optional, let it be 200. Suppose you are scoring here 200, 200. This is 200. This is 200. Suppose 150. No issue, right? So if you add this, suppose you are scoring 200 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 into 12, 200, 1200, 1350. So if you score 1350 and interview is 250 marks, and suppose interview is 200, just add it. 1350 plus 200. So I hope 1550. That means you are going to be tougher, right? This is very, very interesting. So you can be a tougher in Odisha Civil Service Examination. What I mean to say, you may be thinking that in this strategy, I have explained how to become tougher or how you will score high marks. But thing is that you have to understand your capacity, your reality, your, you can say, weaknesses and strengths. What I mean to say, if suppose you are scoring this, then you are tougher. Suppose you are facing lots of challenges, you are a beginner. How much you should score so that you will be called for interview? Let's an idea about that. Suppose you are scoring 400. Try to score in optional 400. Let it be fixed 400, right? So this paper may be 350. Okay, let it be 350, right? So this one is also, for example, 350. Okay, essay paper 150. Essay paper 150. So just imagine 300, 300, 600, 900, 1000, 1050. Total are this 1200. So 1200, and here out of 250, suppose you are scoring 150. For example, suppose you may be thinking, okay, I can score only 150 because I do not possess any such of great personality, but not like that. I'm just explaining. So if you score 150 and this is 1200, just add it. 1350. Right? Again, you are coming within 50 rank. Right? And if you think, okay, I can't even score this much, I'll tell the almost the final strategy so that you can get any rank. You just see, suppose here you will score 300 out of 600. Here 300 out of 600. Suppose here 300 out of 600. And here 150, right? So just imagine 300, 300, 300, 900, 1050. So let it be 1050 plus interview 10150. Just add it. 1200. So, right? So if you score 1200, definitely you are getting any rank in Odisha Administrative Service. What I mean to say, that your strategies should be very clear, crystal clear and ambitious and very practical, so that you can score very good marks, right? I hope you got all these points. Now I'll tell the books so that you can prepare well. Where to start, I'll tell right now. Now we'll talk about the book list. You just see here, book list for OAS, right? Let's understand. First, you should start with NCERT. NCERT standard 6 to 12, like UPSC you have to start, and follow only geography and history, right? These are the basic books you should start from NCERT. And if you have no time, very less time, then you can follow only 11 and 12, geography and history, right? Also you can go for science, General Science, standard 8 to 12, right? So you can follow, because if you study ancient books, that will help you also for UPSC, Indian Identity Service, right? So nothing is going to be wasted, so you can start from ancient. For polity, M. Lakshmikant. M. Lakshmikant. And you can also follow DD also few chapters. But Lakshmikant is sufficient. This is sufficient, right? So Lakshmikant you can follow. And apart from this, Subhas Kashyap also you can follow. Subhas Kashyap. But this is very, very important. Subhas Kashyap. Then after that, for geography, you should study this ancient. Then Professor Majid Hussain, right? Professor Majid Hussain, India and World Geography. India and World Geography, right? Also G.C. Leong, Physical Geography. So you can follow this book also. Then for economics, definitely NCERT 11 and 12, macro and microeconomics, So NCERT 11, 12 plus Ramesh, right? Also economic survey and budget, right? I hope you got this point. Okay. Then polity, geography, economics. For history, you should follow ancient book, but after that you may study spectrum, right? So Bipin Chandra is for men. So you can neglect this part, go for spectrum. But if you have Bipin Chandra, no need to purchase spectrum. Okay. Then environment, P.D. Sharma, right? P.D. Sharma and Minister of Environment and Forest Climate Change website. You can follow government website, right? And also newspaper. I'll tell the newspaper. Please follow The Hindu on regular basis, or you can follow Indian Express. Indian Express also you can follow, right? Indian Express. I hope you are getting this point. So any one you can pick. After that, you see, I am just telling because for prelims, right? And this also helps you for main exam, but these are important for prelim point of view. After that, you can see you should not forget to purchase Oxford Student Atlas. So please purchase Oxford Student Atlas, and math study is very, very important. So that's why Oxford Student Atlas you should follow. I hope you are getting this point, right? So for general science, okay, for general science I am telling few things. For general science you should read NCERT. I have already told NCERT for general science standard 8 to 12. Apart from that, you should read from newspaper also. Newspaper or standard magazine. Any standard magazine you can follow. Any standard magazine, right? I hope you got this point, right? So what I mean to say, you should be very serious and sincere for this exam, because this is not a daydream. You should be very serious and sincere, and dedicated so that you can crack this exam. Because you see, every time students fail in preliminary part because of 2 to 3 questions, 5 questions. So if you follow all these books, right, I hope you have enough time. And if you are not a beginner, already you have prepared, you can neglect few books, right? So do not go worry for NCERT books. If you are prepared, then you should forget this NCERT part, DT versus Subhash Kasab. You can neglect this part. If you are beginner, you should study. For experienced student, you should discard these books, right? I hope you got this point. Wish you happy learning. In next session, I'll talk about how to crack main exam. I hope you got this points. Wish you happy learning. Thank you very much.